Yes, sir. It's that time again. All right, all right. We're a couple minutes late, but we're here. We're a couple minutes late, but we're here. So let's go ahead and jump into it. You see the title and you see the thumbnail. Breaking news. Breaking news. We've got some good news to report. It seems. It seems. It seems as if a possible cure to sickle cell has been identified. The first patient to receive this cure has been FDA approved, and the first patient to receive the cure is an 11-year-old black boy. So we're going to talk about it. We're going to talk about it. We're going to talk about this major breakthrough. We're going to break down some articles, and I'm going to give you some history as far as the progress that's been made thus far. Y'all bear with me for 1 second, guys. I'm trying to make sure that we're tracking here. There we go. That was the issue. All right. But yeah, I'm going to give you all some history because although it's been a long time coming, there have been a lot of people working to find cures to make these medical breakthroughs as far as sickle cell goes. So I'm really happy to report that some progress is being made on this front. As you know, this channel is currently being sponsored and monetized by a grant which encourages us to spread the good news, encourages us to educate the public as far as breakthroughs in the sickle cell field. So when I found this article, when I found out that this major breakthrough had taken place, I was like, oh yeah, that's a no-brainer. That's something I've got to educate the people about. That's something I've got to bring out. Anyone who's been watching my channel knows, my brother, rest in peace, suffered from sickle cell for a long time. So this is a topic that touches near and dear to my heart. So when I heard the good news that a possible cure has been identified and is currently being implemented, of course we got to bring that out. So without any further ado, let's get right into it, guys. Let's break it. Let's get into it. Now, if you see on the thumbnail, you might see a picture of a woman. This woman goes by the name of Dr. Angela Dorothy Ferguson. Now, she noticed the high rate of sickle cell disease among Black American children, so she dedicated her life to studying the disease and developed a blood test to detect the disease, which has become the standard in most U.S. states. Now, this is an FBA, Foundational Black American Woman, as of course, we really don't get enough credit, and I'm going to have a whole separate video breaking down, our contributions as Black people in the medical field and our need to encourage the youth to go into the STEM science, technology, engineering, and math, specifically the medical field, because of the medical maltreatment that many of us experience. So I want to give a quick salute and shout out to Dr. Angela Dorothy Ferguson, a longtime supporter and great woman, noted as far as Black history. Now, Angela Ferguson is best known as a medical researcher. Her pioneering research focused on the development of the sickle cell disease among African American infants. Eventually, she developed a blood test to detect sickle cell at birth, and this test became the standard throughout all of America. Now, I wanted to give her a special salute, but we have to take one further. We build on the foundation. Dr. Angela Dorothy Ferguson, she laid the foundation. She was the one who first realized, hey, why are all these Black people getting sickle cell? What's going on with this? At this time, white people weren't, it's a sickle cell disease. They're not doing any studies. It doesn't affect them. But Dorothy Ferguson recognized that there was a need in our community. She dedicated her life to solving that need. and we built on top of the foundation that she laid. And that's what we're going to break down today. Article is coming from News One. Black boy, 12 years old, is the first person ever to receive the groundbreaking sickle cell gene therapy treatment. So this is what we're going to be breaking down today. Excuse me, I don't want to keep that. And you can see here, this is an image of the sickle cells. Notice that some of the cells are round. This is how your sickle cells of a healthy person looks. It looks round, sort of ovular. It looks like an oval, right? Whereas you can see these sickle cells, it's more of a curve. It's more of a curved cell. They're not round the way they're supposed to be. These sickle cells are literally look like sickles. And what happens is they end up linking together. These sickles link together and can clog your arteries, clog your veins, and cause a lot of pain. They call it a sickle cell crisis. They can send you to the hospital, and many people have died, my brother included, have died from this type of sickle cell, from cells like this that link together and clog your arteries, causing a lot of pain, restriction of the blood flow. It's a very serious disease. So, if anyone was wondering what exactly sickle cell is, you can see in this image that these sickled cells, not the round ones are the healthy ones, but you can see these sickled ones, that is what the disease is. All right. So last Wednesday, Kendrick Cromer, a 12-year-old black patient from the suburbs of Washington, D.C., became the first person in the world to receive a groundbreaking gene therapy treatment that may cure sickle cell disease. According to the New York Times, Cromer began the first step of his extensive treatment process at the Children's National Hospital in Washington on Wednesday. Bluebird, one of the two group companies given authorization by the FDA to create a gene therapy method for sickle cell, administered the process. According to the outlet, doctors removed parts of Cromer's bone marrow stem cells that will be genetically modified in a specialized lab for his treatment. So basically, they're going in, they're tapping into the stem cells within your bone marrow. They extract the bone marrow, the stem cells, and they modify your stem cells in order to produce healthy blood cells as opposed to the sickled ones that we saw in the image earlier. The process will take months to complete. Bluebird will need to collect hundreds of millions of stem cells from Cromer, a grueling procedure that will take up to 6 to 8 hours for each session. So this sounds like a very painful procedure where they're drilling into your bones. Then you got to heal from that. And these are children that suffer from this disease. These are children who suffer from sickle cell. This boy is 11 years old, experiencing, excuse me, I said 11, 12 years old, receiving the first ever uh, possible cure to sickle cell disease. After 3 months, the modified cells will be returned, providing Kendrick with red blood cells that won't deform into fragile crescent shapes, reducing the risk of blockages in his blood cells and organs, in his blood vessels and organs. Sickle cell disease is a genetic blood disorder characterized by abnormal hemoglobin, the protein in red blood cells that carries oxygen throughout the body. Individuals with sickle cell disease, the red blood cells become rigid and sickle shaped instead of flexible and round. These sickle shaped cells can stick together and block blood flow, leading to pain, organ damage, and other complications. So that's pretty much what I was telling you earlier. Sickle cell disease disproportionately affects Black people, particularly those of African descent. The CDC, Center for Disease Control and Prevention, notes that sickle cell disease is prevalent among populations from regions where malaria is or was endemic. Again, sickle cell, the trait was once thought of as a positive thing. It was a natural defense that Black people developed in order to ward off malaria. But once we moved to America, and even people who still remain in sub-Saharan Africa suffer from the disease which originates from the trait. such as sub-Saharan Africa. In the US, sickle cell disease affects approximately 1 out of every 365 Black or African American births. Additionally, about 1 in 13 or African Black or African American babies is born with sickle cell trait. Again, the trait is non-harmful. Sickle cell trait, if you have sickle cell trait, you can pass it on to your offspring, and your offspring have a higher chance of developing the disease, sickle cell anemia. But people who have sickle cell trait do not suffer from the disease and do not suffer from the sickle cell crises that people who have sickle cell anemia do. All right. A condition in which a child inherits the sickle cell gene mutation from one parent. Again, this is what I'm saying. So the sickle cell trait is it's genetic, right? You pass it on to your offspring. If you have the trait, you're okay. You're not necessarily going to suffer. You will not suffer any disease or any crises. But if you have the disease, praise God, they found a cure. The groundbreaking procedure could help millions of Black people living with the disease, but it will be some time before the gene processor is readily accessible to the public. Even though integrating a new gene into stem cells can be accomplished within a few days, the comprehensive testing for purity, potency, and safety typically spans several weeks. Technicians must nurture the cells in the laboratory before commencing these assessments. The extensive nature of the process means that Bluebird can only treat the cells of approximately 85 to 105 patients each year. You know what that means? That means there's a high demand and a small supply, which means this is going to be expensive. The cost of the procedure must also be reduced significantly. Currently, Bluebird has set the price of its gene therapy at $3.1 million, rendering it one of the most expensive treatments available. So there it is, guys. It seems like there is potential here. FDA has approved it. It's possible. I don't want to overspeak or stretch the bounds here, but it sounds like a potential cure to sickle cell disease has been identified. We have the first patient undergoing this treatment. He's a 12-year-old boy from DC. Shout out and salute to Washington, DC, my hometown. He is undergoing this therapy, and Lord willing, he will be cured of sickle cell. That is amazing. Drop some bombs. Give me a round of applause for that, right? Can we get a round of applause? Can we get some excitement? I'm sorry, guys. It's been a long day. I've got a lot of things going on, so I might not have the energy that I usually do. But hey, man, I'm really excited. This is a really good thing. This is good news. It seems as though the FDA, the Food and Drug Administration, has approved a possible cure to sickle cell disease. Many people today are suffering in pain because of the crises that are stemming from sickle cell disease, sickle cell anemia. It's good that we are making progress in finding a cure. Right now, they're setting this treatment at $3.1 million. Only 85 to 105 people are eligible each year to receive this treatment. So it's very exclusive. This cure right now is very exclusive, but it is here, which means from here, once we get it approved, which it seems to be approved by the FDA now it's just a question of expanding. More companies offer it, and the more it's readily available, the lower the price will be. So that's awesome news. Now, as always, this is a sponsored video. We're talking about sickle cell. I would be remiss if I didn't give a word to our sponsors. So salute to our sponsors. You know, our sponsor is a PSA, public service announcement concerning sickle cell. We have a number of videos, and these videos can be found as its own standalone series. I'm creating a playlist that should be up later tonight, if not tomorrow. You will have a playlist available to you where you can see all of the sponsored videos, all of the PSAs, the sickle cell PSAs, in a standalone playlist called PSA Sickle Cell Disease Awareness. So be on the lookout for that playlist, guys, and let's get into our commercial. Check this out.
Previously, the group was trying to help Alex quit smoking.
Jason's right about having various low-cost smoke cessation service options. There's also nicotine replacement therapy, such as nasal sprays, inhalers, nicotine patches, gums, even lozenges.
Yeah, there's also non-nicotine medications, such as Pronin and Vericillin, that are readily available. Also, there are some mental health programs, such as relaxation techniques, including deep breathing, yoga, immersing in calming music. That also helps too.
Yeah, healthcare providers can work with you to create affordable plans for pain management options.
You can do it, honey. We're with you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You've heard the phrase, smoking is hazardous to your health. Well, this is threefold for the sickle cell community. Nicotine actually depletes the oxygen supply in your blood. For those who are already oxygen depleted, this is critical. But Alex's friends are correct. There are many inexpensive but effective methods to stop smoking. Talk to your healthcare provider. They can review with you affordable options to make the decision to not smoke a reality.
Boom. Brr, 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 brr. Brr, 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 brr. All right, so that is episode 4 of our sickle cell PSA. And again, I will be uploading that in its own standalone playlist if you're interested in watching those in order, because it's a series. If you watch it, if you've been catching on to these episodes by now, you'll notice that all of the previous episodes or commercials build on the ones prior. So it's actually a pretty interesting series in and of itself. So that will be available for you later tonight or tomorrow at the latest. So be on the lookout for that playlist. And every week as I release our sponsored videos, I will also update our playlist with standalone videos that you can watch for the sickle cell PSAs. All right. So with that being said, guys, I'm going to keep this one short today. I didn't have too much to report. I just wanted to let you all know that there are some major breakthroughs happening on the sickle cell front. So anyone who's suffering from sickle cell disease, understand that there is hope in sight, and there are resources if you are suffering from sickle cell disease and you also have addictions such as smoking cigarettes, anything with nicotine, or drinking alcohol. These are triggers for sickle cell crises. So you've got to manage. I would encourage you to quit altogether these bad habits, because they can disproportionately, and they do disproportionately, affect those who suffer from sickle cell. So just be aware of that. That's going to be it for today's video, and I will see you for tomorrow. Tomorrow, I think the conversation we're going to be talking about entrepreneurship. That should be a good, interesting video. We're going to break down some of the struggles and some of the triumphs that your average entrepreneur might not tell you about. All right, so tomorrow's video, we're going to be breaking down entrepreneurship. Today, I just wanted to give that quick PSA as far as the breaking news, breakthrough, possible cure to sickle cell disease has been identified, and the first patient, 12-year-old boy, is currently undergoing this treatment. So keep your fingers crossed, guys. Things look promising. The future is bright. All right. I'm going to catch you on the next one. I appreciate everyone who's rocking with me thus far. If you enjoyed today's video, be sure to hit the thumbs up button. If it's your first time watching, do me a personal favor and smash the subscribe button. I know today's video was sort of short, but I talk about a large range of topics. We go from hip hop, current events, news, politics, esoteric consciousness. A whole lot of different conversations happen on this channel. So be sure to subscribe and come on back for content just like this. I'll see you on the next one.